it's Maisie. It's been a long time again since I videoed or filmed anything or uploaded a video to this YouTube channel. I feel like I open up every video with that recently, so hopefully this will be the last time you hear me say that and I'll get back on top of things. Today is going to be a story time video. If you've seen my Instagram story, you'll know that this was coming. But there is honestly so much to talk about, so much to go through. There is goodie bags to go through, swap table items, things I made during the weekend, things I bought, all sorts of things. And I did a bit of note-taking in my journal, and I just think it's going to be a really long, really exciting video. Pause this video, get yourself a cup of tea, and then sit back and enjoy hearing about my weekend. And if you didn't go, I'm very sorry, but this video is going to make you feel very jealous. Plannercon was on the 29th and 30th of April, but my journey actually started on the Wednesday when I travelled up to my mum's house, who lives sort of slightly north of Cambridge, I think, although geography is not my best. So I travelled up to see her for a day or two, and then on the Friday I drove another hour to get to the event. And I arrived on the Friday, and a lot of people arrived on the Friday. And on the Friday evening there was a meal. So I checked into the hotel, and there was two main hotels that most people stayed in, and they were both Premier Inns and they're both very close to each other. So a lot of people came to this meal, and I met Chelsea and Lois. Lois I have met before, and she is absolutely lovely. I've seen her once at another event in Southampton, which is where I'm from, and it was so lovely to see her again. And luckily there was a chair next to her free, and I walked down to the meal with Chelsea because we had met earlier that day. Chelsea came down to meet me when I was checking in, and it was really lovely. And then we sat and spoke for a little while in my room as I unpacked a little bit. And so I sort of clung on to Lois and Chelsea throughout this weekend. We had already been arranged by the lovely Hannah that we were all going to be travelling to the event together, like car sharing, which was really nice because it meant that you met people before you met over 100 people. So it was nice to sort of ease your way in, because I do get a bit anxious at things like this. I do have social anxiety, and so I was a little bit nervous, but it was lovely that Chelsea came down and met me. And then at the meal we all sat next to each other in a row, and we worked out that we were actually all in a row in the hotel as well. So I was number 48, Chelsea was 50, and Lois was 52, I believe. So we were literally all in a row. So that was really cool. It was like a hallway of planner addicts and journaling addicts and just all sorts of things. It was just really fun. The meal was absolutely amazing. By the time the food got brought out to everyone, my belly was rumbling and I was starting to get very hangry. But it was really, really amazing. And then Saturday rolled around, and that is where our real planner event started. So we got to the event. We aimed to get there for around 10ish when the doors opened, just to set ourselves up, get ourselves somewhere to sit before all the seats got taken up, and just got ourselves comfortable, because I know other people that I was with suffer with anxiety as well, so it was just nice to sort of get there in good time. Lois actually ended up driving. I was going to, but I ended up hurting my wrist, so I asked if anyone would mind driving instead, and Lois was happy to, which was really lovely of her, because it meant that I could rest my wrist for a little while before the long journey back to Southampton on the Sunday, although I did end up driving on Sunday. But we're getting ahead of ourselves now. So when we turned up to the event, we were greeted by Anna, who is Mrs. Brimbles, which I'm sure a lot of you know. The event was organised by Anna, and it was basically a Mrs. Brimbles event, although Anna didn't want us to call it that because she said that it's for everybody, it's not just hers. And I think that is a really lovely way of looking at it, because everyone who attends these meets makes the event what it is. Without everyone attending, there would be no meet. And I think it really changes how the event is going to be depending on who is there. So I think that is a really lovely way to look at it. So it's called Cambs Plannercon, and we were greeted by Anna, and we found our tickets. Well, we had to hand in our tickets, these ones, to be entered into a raffle. And we got our lanyards, which I have actually filled with sequins from the table. They actually exploded in my bag on the way back. My handbag is now completely covered in sequins. I got as many of them out as I could, but there's still some in there, like in all the pockets and stuff, which is quite funny because every time I look in there now I think of Cambs Plannercon, and it's just brilliant. So when we arrived, we had on our tables these cups which say planners gonna plan on them, and this is basically the logo of the meetup, I think, because the goodie bags have that on it as well. And then throughout most of the first day it was a lot of talks, and throughout those talks I took some notes. They were very, very inspirational talks, and some of them inspired me a lot more than others. So the first talk we had was from a lady called Anne Hawkins, and her talk was all about managing time, and we had to think of one thing that we want to do but we never manage to find the time to do it. So for me, that is finishing my university coursework so that I can go back and finish my degree. It's been something that I've been wanting to do for years. I've had a few years out because of mitigating circumstances, and I just want to get back into it and back to university and finish my degree once and for all. All I've got left is 1 year. I just need to knuckle down and do the coursework that I've got outstanding so that I can go back and do it. And I'm sure we have all heard of the experiment where if you put the little insignificant things in the jar first, they will take up most of the room, so there's not enough room for the bigger things that you need to do or want to do. And she explained it like there are a few little things that take up a lot of time in our days, and for me that is Netflix and Facebook and things like social media, which take up a lot of time, but they don't really add to anything. So she explained these as grains of rice, and if you put grains of rice in a jar or container, then they will take up a lot of time. And then you've got the bigger things that you have to do every day. So that could be things like cooking dinner, going to work, childcare, that sort of thing. They are considered marbles because they are slightly bigger things and they're things that you have to do. So they go in next. And after that, you've got no room for the things that you want to do. The big things, the rocks, as she explained them. And I don't know whether you can see here, but I've drawn two diagrams. And she showed us that if you put in the big things first, and then the things that you have to do, the marbles surround that, and then you fill up the gaps with the things that you don't need to do, or the grains of rice, you can find a much better balance in your life and end up doing things that you really want to do. And I have seen this demonstration quite a few times. I've heard of it, but you never really remember it. And I've never sort of taken it down and written about it and really listened to the meaning behind it. And it was just a really nice reminder that you need to find balance in your life for things that you want to do as well as the things that you have to do, and then fill up the spare time where you can't do anything else, like last thing at night, first thing in the morning before you get up and do all the things that you have to do. those things for Facebook and Netflix and stuff like that should fit in around the other stuff, the more significant stuff in your life. The significant things shouldn't fit around them. And it was a very important message, and I think it was a really good way to open up Cambs Plannercon, because this whole weekend, I feel like when you're going to a weekend or a planner meetup or a planner convention, I feel like you're more open to be inspired, because you're going to this event to share inspiration and to share your hobbies with everyone else, and they're all like-minded people, so I feel like you're more open to listening and getting inspiration, not just for your planner but for day-to-day life, managing your time and stuff like that. And I just think that this was just the perfect opening for Plannercon. She then asked us to draw a square. And within this square there are 4 squares. There is the square of necessity, which is urgent and important things. Fulfilling your potential box, which is important but not urgent. Box 3, the square of deception, which is urgent but not important. And box 4 is the square of waste, which is not important but not urgent. And we did this to sort of write down and work out what really is important, what really is urgent, and to work out that there is a difference between those two things. And it was just nice to have it in front of you, ready to see and ready to look at, so that you can get a better perspective about what you're talking about and what you're doing with your life. And it was just very nice to hear. And then we went through all of these fears and problems that arise and how we can conquer them. So, for example, the fear of getting started, you just have to do it and get out there and put your happiness first. And there are other problems like pressures of other people making demands on your time, doing things for other people. And we just came together as a group and overcame these things and wrote them down, so that we can know that even if you're having a hard time finding balance in your life, it is impossible to get balance. And it was really, really good. The next talk was The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Plannerverse by Steve Morton, I believe his name was. I'm probably one of the only people there who hadn't heard of this guy, but he was really, really brilliant. I think he has something to do with the Filofaxy group, the Facebook page. I'm not too sure. Please don't hate me for not knowing this. But he spoke to us about choosing the planner for you and how planners have evolved over the years. And it was really interesting. He brought his first ever planner, and it was this little black Filofax. From what I could see, I was right at the back, but it was really interesting to see how he had evolved and how he had changed his planning style. And it's good to know that someone who is so well known in the planner verse, as he says, so well known in the planner society and stuff, still doesn't have complete planner piece, because he's trying out all these different things. He says that he's found a planner that he likes for right now, but there are so many impacts and changes on your life that things can just change, and your way of planning will change, and you just need to find what will suit you. And that doesn't mean that it needs to suit you forever, but you need to find it for right now. So he was saying that when you're choosing your planner, you need to think about size and colour and binding and brand and inserts. What inserts do you want to use? What do you want to plan? And so he said that there was a difference between planners, journals and organisers. And he said that planners plan the present and the future, but journals are for remembering and planning and writing about the past, and organisers can be for either. And it's really good to sort of distinguish between the both. And he spoke about how journaling is different to planning, and it was just a really inspirational talk. And he spoke about all the different types of inserts and branding and binding and sizes, and he was just really, really good. And he said that there is no shame in using paper planners and technology. And he said that for a lot of things he does use technology, because for things that are recurring all the time and things that he has to do, that he knows he has to do, he actually just uses his phone, because otherwise they're just going to take up all the time in his planner, and he doesn't want it to be clogged up with things that he knows he has to do. So he uses his planner mostly for things that like bigger things, which is good to know, because I always feel pressured to sort of write everything down, but you don't have to. Oh, the lighting's getting a bit funny, isn't it? I wonder if that's any better. Hopefully. I'm sorry about the lighting. And he said that stickers are good, and yes, they are. They're brilliant. I think everyone cheered and jumped for joy when he said that. It was really, really brilliant. And then we had a work-life balance talk from Emma Wilcox, and I think this one is the one that spoke to me the most. She said that work doesn't have to be just paid employment. It can be anything that you have to do. Anything that you consider work is work. And she said that there is always a tension between work and life. And if you are out enjoying a leisurely activity, spending time with your children or spending time with your friends, you have to remember that that's important. But we don't. We tend to think, oh, I should be doing work right now. I have all this work to do. And we end up making ourselves feel guilty for having enjoyment in our lives, and we shouldn't. And vice versa, when we're working, we always are sort of like regretting not going out and not having enjoyment. And we need to find a balance between both of them. You need to have work and play in equal amounts, and that doesn't mean balancing every day. It means balancing your life. So one day you can't go like half a day play, half a day work. It's too hectic for that. It's too stressful for that, and you'll end up making yourself feel bad if you don't manage to balance that day. But what's easier is looking at the bigger picture and having a balance in the bigger picture. So having one day of work for one day of leisurely activities, or just finding balance in your life rather than finding balance in every day. And I thought that was really lovely, because I always feel guilty if I'm going out and doing something fun instead of doing coursework or something, which, yes, coursework is very important and work is very important, but you do need to have some fun, some leisure activity in your life. Otherwise, you're just going to be miserable, and no one deserves to be miserable. And so she also described this way of making a plan, and she spoke about it being a pyramid, and how this is the one I did during the convention. Can you see that? Is it all in? Yeah. So she said that the first thing you need to do is you need to decide what your ultimate goal is. And I put the ultimate goal at the top here, which is graduate. So I need to finish university. And the first step to doing that is to ask yourself, why do you want to do this? And that is the first box in our pyramid. And she said that if you don't have a clear why, you're less likely to achieve your goal. And it's really funny how I said, I want to finish university, and I couldn't really work out in my mind why I wanted to do it. It's almost like I felt like I had to, and then I started thinking about it, and it was more than that, and it was because I need to have the good qualifications. I didn't do too well in school and college. I did moderate, but nothing outstanding. So if I have this degree, it will outweigh those. And that would open up a lot more opportunities for me, and I wouldn't feel so bad on myself. And that is the reason why. And then she told us to draw an eye, and that is to symbolise that there is someone out there who's probably already done it, and we have to go and look for inspiration. And that is the next block on our pyramid. The third box is your brain or mastermind, and she said that this is your accountability building block. You need to go out and you need to share your goal. You need to tell others what your goal is, and then they can hold you accountable. They can ask you, how's it going and stuff, and you don't want to say to them, oh, actually I haven't done anything, I'm useless, da da da, because you'll feel like you need to do something so that you can say, actually, I've done really well this week, I've done this, this and this, and I am on my way to achieving my goal. And they'll be like, brilliant, you've done excellent. And so that is what that block is. And then she said, your next block is 5 minutes a day. She said, if you spend 5 minutes on the difficult things each day, you will progress significantly over time. And 5 minutes doesn't seem that long, but 5 minutes is 5 times longer than 0 minutes. If you're sitting there thinking, oh, I can't do that today, I have no time, I'm not going to achieve anything, I'm not going to be able to do anything, I might as well not start, then you're doing nothing. But if you did 5 minutes, you would do 5 minutes of work. And in a week, that's 35 minutes. In 2 weeks, you've done over an hour. So it adds up. And sometimes, I don't know whether she said this, but I feel like if I started doing 5 minutes of work and I was actually achieving something, it would inspire me to do some more. And I feel like if I managed to do sort of 20 minutes, I'd be like, wow, I've done 20 minutes of work today. I aimed for 5 and I've gone past that. I've gone beyond that. I've done really well today. And I would feel much better about myself than if I did nothing. The next box, of course, is plan. You need to break down this ultimate goal and work out what the next stages in our pyramid is going to be. If you have little goals, you'll feel more achievements and more motivated because of those achievements throughout it. And so I broke it down. I worked out that the first thing I needed to do is I needed to tidy my study area. So I've got a clear area to just think, a clear area to just do my own thing. And so that was my first goal. And then I need to email my university and find out what I need to do for them in order to go back in September. Then I need to work out how long I have left and what I need to do during that time by the deadline. Then I need to start writing the first essay. I need to plan out what the first essay is and what it needs to include according to the mark scheme. And then I've written down, spend an hour or so each day writing, researching or editing the essay. And 1 hour every day might be a bit much, so I'm going to change that to maybe 3 hours per week. And then if I go above and beyond that, it will be brilliant. But it's still a goal, an achievable goal. 3 hours in all of those hours in the week, I can definitely do that. And if I spend 1 hour for 3 days, that's my 3 hours, and I feel like that is a very achievable goal. And then it would go plan out my second essay according to the mark scheme, and then follow those steps up until I'm able to go back, complete my second year, plan a triangle for that second year, and stick to it like I have this, and then I will reach my ultimate goal of graduating. And this way of thinking is just amazing to me. I feel like it's definitely something that I can work towards because it's almost like stepping stones. There's small achievements within it, and then you get your big achievement from all of those small achievements, and it's just a positive way to look at things. And so this really, really inspired me. Okay, so that was the Saturday. Also on the Saturday we had breaks and we had lunch and we had fish and chips, and then there was the disco. And Saturday was the day that I did most of my shopping. So I bought a lot of stickers and a lot of, I exchanged a lot of washi and everything. And then on the Saturday night, before the disco, after dinner and everything had happened, there was a raffle. And in the raffle, everyone got entered into the raffle. So as I said at the beginning, we had to hand in our tickets and they were actually put into a raffle draw, and I was lucky enough to win, and I won. You ready? I won a Simple Heart Traveller's Notebook. I think it's a traveller's notebook. I'm not very up to date with the lingo of like what things are, but yeah, so it came in this bag. Are you ready? It's so pretty. Da, 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 da. Look at it. It's a really bright, like almost poppy red colour. It's got the logo on the spine. It's so soft. I've looked on the website and it is fake leather, but it honestly feels like leather. It's really thick. Look how thick that is. That's just the planner. It's not like layers of things that you can open. That is just how strong it is. And then inside you get some pockets, and I really like the wavy pockets. And then I got a insert, which is really cool. They're undated, so I can use them whenever I like. Then you've got a pocket in the back, and it's got 4 strings. Oh, pretty. And then I actually got some tassels for it as well, from the same lady. These are her details. So yeah, you might have already seen this actually, because I did take a photo of this and put it on Instagram. So you may have already seen it. It's just so pretty, and I was so lucky to win this, and I'm so grateful. So yeah, I'm going to keep it in this before it gets covered in rubbish or something. So yeah, that's what I won on the raffle. So the next day was more of a creative day. Geraldine did a creative journaling workshop, and when we walked in on Sunday, we had a little goodie bag from Mrs. Brimble's, and inside was a spray, which you can see I tested out. Some stickers, some ephemera, and some washi strips. So basically, Geraldine's workshop was all about finding inspiration from others. If we don't try other things and get it, even if you get it wrong, you will have learned something and you will learn your own style. So you just need to let go of the fear of failing, because you're not failing, you're learning. And she told us to do a journaling page. So my journaling page didn't turn out how I wanted it to. The trouble was that I did only have a few things with me. I left all of my goodie bag stuff packed away in my car, which in theory was quite a good idea because I wasn't lugging a lot of stuff around. I had more arms to buy things. But it wasn't the best idea because I had nothing to really creative journal with except what we got given by Mrs. Brimble's on the day. So if I redid it, I probably would enjoy redoing it. But this is what I managed to do. So on the Saturday there was a photo booth, and me, Chelsea and Lois went in there and we took some funny photos, as you can see. Lois also gave me the journaling card which says "You're lovely," and she said that it would go with my planner, and so I feel like maybe I upset her by using it in this, but I just wanted to put it there because it would remind me where I got it from. I'm calling, like, to me it's me calling them lovely because they're in the photos on the page with me, and it just brightens up the page and I really like it. I've stuck down some of the sequins from the table, which I thought was quite a good idea at the time. I sprayed the spray right into the middle of the page. I didn't want it to be too obvious, I just wanted to add a bit of colour to it, and I really liked how that looks now that it's covered up a little bit. I added stickers that say photo booth, and they are stickers that were in the bag from Mrs. Brimble's. And then I did a few doodles as well, and I did it on the other side as well. I included a journaling card, a washi strip, I did some pen around the outside, and I put some stickers down that said Saturday, and the journaling card says remember this. And so it's quite simple, it's not in your face, but I do really like it, and I like how it looks a lot. I'm just going to get onto this now because you've probably just seen it anyway, but I asked people, I stole someone's idea, I should look up who it was, I'll put them here. I actually stole someone's idea of getting people to write in my planner, just to say that they've met me, and I didn't realise that I knew quite so many people, I had spoken to so many people. All of the people that wrote on this were significant to me on the day. That's not to say that people that didn't write in this weren't significant to me, it's just that these people are the ones that I managed to ask, get the courage to ask, to write in it. And I wish I'd got more, but I didn't. So Chelsea is there, who I went to the meetup with. Chris was on the table. Hannah did this swirly thing because she just wanted to be different, and she was the one who organised the transport and the meal on the Friday and stuff, so she was significant to me in that way. Josie and Abby and Wendy and Rima, they were all on the table as well. Lois, or Lois as I call her, was there. Chloe and Daisy and Geraldine, they all wrote in my planner, which was really lovely. Steph, or Lo, from UKPA, is significant to me because she's the queen. The two Lisas wrote in it. Danny from Chocho and Mimi, it was lovely seeing her again, and Jo from Little Rainbow Moon. Liv I've met at meetups before, Amanda I've met at meetups before, and she was very lovely. She remembered that I was very anxious at the last meetup and she made sure I was okay, so it was really lovely. Sam I met at the UKPA Big Meet. Sharon is just lovely. She's one of my best friends that I've made in the planner community. She just makes me feel very welcome and looked after and warm, and she kept giving me cuddles throughout the day, and it was just really, really lovely. I love Sharon a lot. And Charlotte was there, who I went up to Leeds with Sharon and her. And Kelly was there. It was so lovely because Kelly recognised me, or saw my name badge or something and said, "Maisie, it's me from the Planner Shop Owners group." And I was like, "Oh, hi. I don't know faces and names." So she was like, "Oh, it's Kelly." And it was just really nice. And then I was like, "Oh, now I know who you are. Can you write in my book?" And it was just a funny rolling stone, really. And then Liz Lotta wrote in it. Oh, so many people wrote in my planner, and it was just so wonderful. I actually didn't expect to get more than just this page filled in, so the fact that I actually managed to fill 3 pages with messages from people that I knew and were significant to me and impacted my weekend in such a positive way, it was just so lovely. So yeah, so that's that. And when I went over to Danny's table from Chocho and Mimi, she actually gave me another little sample of stickers from her shop as well, so that was really lovely of her. And then arguably the bit that I was looking forward to the most, apart from seeing people that are very important to me in the planner world, and who I haven't seen for months, was that Lush was going to be there. My favourite shop, like without a doubt, it's my favourite shop. I am obsessed with them. I've got a huge, great big plastic tub under my bed filled with, there must be at least 30 bath bombs in there, 10 shower gels, soaps, shampoos, conditioners, face wash, cleanser, makeup. There is so much stuff. I just love them. I love their perfumes. I love everything. And when I found out that they were going to be there, we didn't know this when we booked the tickets. I thought I was going to a planner convention. I didn't realise I was going to the best planner convention in the world with Lush going. And so Lush turned up and they were like, we're going to make a bath bomb. And I was like, excellent. So between our tables, I'll insert some photos of the process here. There was 7 people on our table and they had planned for 10 people to be on each table, so we got quite big bath bombs because there was less people to split the ingredients between. And we made creamy candy, which is my favourite scent. It's my favourite bubble bar. It's pink, it smells beautiful, and now I've made one with my own hands. So this is what it looks like. Look at it. It's huge, like really, really big. I mean, it's almost as big as my hand. And this should do at least 2 baths, but it smells incredible. I'm so pleased that I managed to make it. It smells like, to me it smells like candy floss and just sweet smelling, beautiful things. There's essential oils in it, there's cocoa butter in it, there's this agent that makes it bubbly. There's all sorts of things in it and it smells incredible, and I'm so happy that I got to do that and I got to mix it. I got messy. My hands, if I wasn't wearing gloves, would have turned bright pink because it was so bright. And you wouldn't believe that this thing that's so like hard now is crumbly, and it just feels like what you would expect it to feel like. But when you are making it, it's softer than Play-Doh. It's really, really soft. It's hard to almost mould it. It's almost like it only just holds its shape. And it was so weird. It was like dough. It was like I was making a cookie or something. But yeah, I am really, really glad that I managed to go and do this. And so yeah. So that is my Lush bath bomb, handmade by me and other people on my table. And I'm just so happy with everything that happened this weekend. It's the best planner meetup I've been to, mostly because I just felt so comfortable. I knew people there. Lois and me sort of clung on to each other because we knew each other before the meetup, and it was just comfy, and there were activities to do and there was structure to the day, and I didn't have to sort of go out of my way to find my own plan for the day, because when it's left down to me of what I have to do, I sort of get anxious because I have to make decisions and stuff, and I don't enjoy that. But when there's a structure where it's like talk, break, shopping, break, dinner, lunch, la 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 la. When there's a structure to the day, I know what to expect, and it's a lot nicer. And I found myself feeling more comfortable within myself. I was able to go out and say hello to people and ask people to write in my book and give people hugs, and it was just really, really lovely. I really enjoyed this weekend. I would definitely go next year if I'm able to. It was just brilliant. I'm so happy to have gone to Cambs Plannercon 2017. I love everyone who was there, and I want to say thank you to everyone who was there and impacted my day. So Lois, Chelsea, Sharon, Charlotte, Danny, Joe, Kelly, Lizelot, Liv, everyone who was there. Even if I haven't said your name, I mean you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment if you want to subscribe. I'd really appreciate the subscriptions. It will motivate me more to do some more videos on this channel. Go and check out my Instagram as well. I've just discovered Instagram stories. So I even got in front of the camera and started speaking to you yesterday. So that's going to be interesting. I wonder if I keep that up. It would be quite cool if I did. Yeah, so thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.